Hi, sweet friends, it's Amy, and welcome back. Today I'm kicking off my winter decorating series in our kitchen and breakfast nook area for 2026. Now that all the Christmas decor has been packed away, it's time to get everything nice and cozy again, and I'm excited to bring you along. Starting out today, I'm going to give the countertops a quick wipe down before adding decor, and you may also see my cute little assistant Nyla popping in and out of today's video. She'll be supervising the whole process and keeping me on track. For the new year, I'm switching out the older runner and rug in front of our patio door for a new one I found on Amazon. The winter color palette I'm using is inspired by what I see right outside our windows here in West Virginia: snowy months, bare trees, and a more moody feel. I'm bringing in browns, blacks, creams, cognac tones, and white, layering in texture to keep things warm, along with faux houseplants, because I definitely have a brown thumb, so faux it is. This palette feels like a natural extension of the outdoors and keeps everything feeling calm and cohesive after Christmas. I always encourage you to look outside and let that inspire your winter decorating. One tip I have for countertop styling is to create small vignettes beneath the outlets. I find this strikes the perfect balance between decorating the space without it feeling overwhelming or cluttered. I also love layering along the backsplash with cutting boards and small frame prints to keep everything looking cozy and inviting. Also, grouping your kitchen items in baskets on cutting boards or trays helps everything feel intentional and visually appealing. You'll have to let me know if you're like me, but I like to keep strictly decorative tea towels on the handles of both our oven and dishwasher. It helps to incorporate your color palette, adds a bit of softness, and this is especially important in a kitchen with so many sharp, sterile edges. For our usable tea towels, usually absorbent terry cloth, I keep those concealed on a command hook inside the cabinet under our sink. So I actually just pulled off some sprigs off of a garland that I'll be later using, and then I'll just tuck this right inside letting it trail over the edge. A simple way to keep your kitchen counters feeling a little bit more cozy is to add a kitchen lamp. I love that it gives off a soft, inviting glow that makes the kitchen feel extra homey. I use a smart plug, so all I have to do is ask Alexa to turn it on, or I have it programmed to come on automatically at a certain time in the evenings. As I refresh our home for the new year, especially in the kitchen, about 98% of the pieces I'm bringing back into the space are older items, some of which I've rotated from other areas of our home. For example, the centerpiece I'm using on the island is a bowl you may remember from our office, filled with Norfolk pines and pine cones. At Christmas, I had added some red bulbs, but for a fresh winter look, I removed those and brought it into the kitchen. I also placed it on the scalloped cake stand to give it a bit more height and presence. Also, don't be afraid to display your produce or baked goods, even ones straight out of the box. Presented nicely in your kitchen, they can add such a cozy lived-in vibe. Switching out these goodies regularly also gives your family, your guests, and yourself too, something to look forward to during the long winter days. All right, now that this side of the kitchen is all set, let's pop over to the breakfast nook and coffee bar area and get that all decorated for winter. To start, I like to switch out the wall art, and I'm bringing back this winter print that I found on Amazon. Then I'll bring back the candle sconces from Hobby Lobby with the twisted wax candles that you may remember that I picked up from Walmart at Christmas. I didn't end up using them during the holiday decorating, but thankfully they didn't go to waste. This spot is absolutely perfect for them. For the table centerpiece, I'm keeping it super simple with a vintage style vase filled with some Norfolk pine. Here's a little tip. To make the stems look fuller and more natural, turn them upside down and give them a gentle shake. It helps the branches open up and instantly gives a more realistic, polished look. For my winter decorating, when working with these neutral, moody colors, I think it's really important to add lots of layering and texture to keep things interesting. I'm starting with a striped placemat with fringe on the edges, which pairs so nicely with the winter print. Next, I'll layer on a basket weave charger, some white plates, and casually place a knotted napkin in the center. All of these layers come together to create a neutral yet visually impactful display. Continuing their appearance into the winter season, I'm displaying these DIY snowflakes again. At Christmas, I had added a red ribbon and bow for a more festive look, but now I've removed that so that they can be displayed as is, keeping a simple, wintry feel. I have to say, decorating and styling our coffee bar for the holidays and different seasons is one of my favorite things to do. During the cold winter months, I love to have a cup of hot cocoa from time to time. So throughout winter, I like to keep the hot cocoa mix out just like I did at Christmas, but just dial it back a bit, only displaying the mini marshmallows, my cream and sugar, and the stirring spoons for a simple, cozy setup. Inside this wooden vase, I'm adding some older stems from Amazon that I love to pull out each winter. I'll link what I can in the description box in case you'd like to add any of these pieces to your own winter decor. For the shelf styling, I'm bringing in a mix of materials in different heights and textures. I also like the soft glow of a battery-operated candle that I'll place here inside this vintage-style lantern. One tip I like to use when styling open shelves is to create a triangle shape within the strongest or most visually striking pieces. In my case, that's the white pieces. I place them strategically in a triangular pattern for a cohesive, balanced look. Later, I use a similar technique with the green items to keep everything feeling intentional and visually pleasing. All right, sweet friends, that pretty much wraps up the decorating here in our kitchen for winter and the kickoff to my winter decorating series for 2026. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful in any way, I'd appreciate a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and like what you saw, I'd love if you would consider subscribing. It'd be an honor if you would join me back here next time. Now, as always, one of my favorite ways to end our time together is sharing a verse from God's Word. Today, I'll be reading from Romans chapter 10, verse 9. If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. I thank you all so very much for spending a part of your day with me, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and week, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. And until then, take care and God bless, friends. Bye.